All right, we talked about the babies. Let's talk about the women. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. If you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to the channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So I would probably say the past month, I have noticed 3 content creators who have begun to create content surrounding growing back or filling in their edges. I have also noticed a few companies on Pinterest who are now selling products or they are marketing it as regrowing your edges. There is a natural hair care company who will remain nameless, who is in my inbox, I'd probably say at least once or twice a week. They are selling an edge regrower like Edge Natural or something to basically regrow your edges. There are other companies who are just doing that as well. I will give you an example. There's a company on Pinterest. I'm not going to say the name, but there is a company on Pinterest. Apparently their edge control went viral on TikTok, but there is a company out there who has a young lady growing her edges at the same time that she is laying them. So I guess they are marketing it as you can still lay your edges, but you can also grow it back with this product. I have said this before and I will continue to say it. This whole edge epidemic is the reason why y'all's edges are thinning, is the reason why traction alopecia is running rampant, okay? We already talked about the loose natural hair women and the women who wear dreads who are actually relaxing their edges to lay them down. This obsession with laying your edges or this obsession with natural hair looking perfect has to stop. I know people don't particularly care for the word imperfect or not me saying natural hair is not perfect, but it's the truth. I could do my signature hairstyle every day for a week. And each time I do it, it's going to look different. For the simple fact that my hair is curly, for the simple fact that my hair does whatever it wants, for the simple fact that I sweat, for the simple fact that I live in the South, for the simple fact that I might do a wash and go, I might do a braid out, I might do a twist out. And maybe on this side, I've twisted it a little bit tighter than I did on this side. Or maybe I use the same technique on the left and on the right. My twist out, my classic crown is going to come out different every single time, no matter the same technique. And even if you go to someone who does your hair, a natural hairstylist, every time they do your flat twist or every time they do your twist out or your braid out, it's going to look different. That is the beauty of natural hair. But I just wanted to bring it to y'all and see if you are noticing a trend with that as well. I'm not here to expose any content creators. I'm not here to expose any natural hair care companies, but it is a trend that I am noticing. I'm seeing content just talking about growing edges. Let me know in the comments. Do you always lay your edges? Do you sometimes lay your edges? Do you not lay your edges at all? Why or why not? And do you also feel like that your edges have to be laid? Or do you feel like your edges have to be laid for certain situations? You know that this is the hill that I will die on. Leave your natural hair alone. Yes, I do lay my edges. If I pull this back, I'd probably say these are 2 and 3. I would probably say these are two-day old edges. It's Sunday morning. I laid my edges on Friday. This past Saturday was nothing but admin and batching content. I was in the house the entire time. Whatever content that's being pumped out today, there is no laying of edges. These are the same edges from Friday, okay? And a lot of people have been asking me, or I've continue to get a lot of questions about how I maintain my edges. And that is how. If I am in the house and I am not doing anything, there is no need for my edges to be laid. Even if I am going out and I laid my edges the day before, if my edges still look like that, or if they somewhat resemble what they look like when I went to bed, I am not going to relay my edges. Not to mention, I live in the South, okay? My son plays football. I sit and watch him play football in the dead of summer where it's like 100 degrees and the humidity is at like 1,000,000. There is no edge control on earth for me This is my personal opinion, or this is my personal experience. I've tried several. I have landed on the Curls Blueberry Control Paste. I will link it down below. There is no edge control that will control my edges to the point where they stay exactly how I styled them at 8 o'clock in the morning. For me personally, that's just not happening. And I do not have 4C hair. Let your hair be. Not to mention, a lot of the products that people are using for edge control have alcohol in them. Now, we know that not all alcohols are bad, but in order to get that slick look, especially in the gels, they have drying alcohols in them. And I will give you an example. I tried the Eco Styler gel. I believe it is the argan oil one. It's yellow and then the top is red. Not only did it give me white residue, but it dried my edges out so bad. And not to mention, again, by the end of the day, my edges still were not laid. Instead of regrowing the edges, why don't we tend to them and care for them while they are still intact? This goes along with the traction alopecia situation. Traction alopecia, for the people in the back, is 100% avoidable. As a 21-year-old, as a 30-year-old, as a 35-year-old, your edges should still be intact. There's nothing wrong with laying your edges. There's nothing wrong with wanting a slick back. But if you are looking for healthy hair, if you are looking to go on a healthy hair journey, if you are looking to keep your edges intact, you have to leave them alone. You can't always, the slick backs, which is a whole nother topic of conversation. The slick backs is what is making y'all bald as well, or what is snatching your edges. That cannot be your go-to hairstyle. I get it. It looks professional. It looks neat. It looks elegant. It's tamed. I get it. But it cannot be your go-to hairstyle. Not if you are looking to keep your edges intact. Common denominators or common factors when it comes to these three women, and they are not the only ones. I know that there are other women who are having an issue with this, and we also know this because of the marketing, because of the products that we are beginning to see being marketed. But the common denominator that I am noticing with these three women is the excessive use of knotless braids with extensions. As I have said before, especially when it comes to your perimeter, the very front of your hair, I am seeing women getting knotless braids to their bra strap, to their butt, and I have even seen knotless braid to your knees. Not so much the back and the middle, but your perimeter is one of the most delicate areas on your head when it comes to your hair. The tension and the weight that you are adding to your hair when it comes to the knotless braids. I have never had knotless braids, but just looking at it and seeing how much tension is being pulled, because we know how much tension there is, because we know, even as someone who has long hair, as my hair gets longer, my curls loosen because of the weight of my hair. And you can really see that when my hair is wet, right? But when it comes to the added hair also adds weight to your hair. Now, as far as the actual hair care, when it comes to having the knotless braids in, I don't particularly follow these women, but for whatever reason, they were popping up on my feed and I did not go down the rabbit hole. So I don't know how they were taking care of their hair while they were in the knotless braids. But with the other video that I showed y'all, when it came to that woman her hair being braided down in the install, her hair was excessively dry. And that's where we started to see the breakage. I know sometimes when people get knotless braids, or even when they leave it in for an extended amount of time, we also know that life happens. And I talked about this during my Chebe journey. You fall off the bandwagon, you hop back on. But sometimes when people get knotless braids, they tend to neglect their hair because they think their hair is being protected. Then you add in a husband, then you add in the 2.5 kids, then you add in the dog, then you add in all of the activities that the kids have. Sometimes your hair can fall by the wayside. And if you are getting those knotless braids or some type of protective style every single month or for months on end, sometimes we tend to forget that we still have to care for our hair. The other one is that when their hair was not in the knotless braids, I noticed that they were doing, of course, a lot of laying of the edges, but I also noticed that they were doing a lot of slick backs. whether it was a slick back low bun, high bun, ponytail, or I know what's very popular right now is the claw clip. It was a lot of tension styles. So I want to go a little bit deeper, if I may. The very first thing is the mocking and the ridicule. We are at the point now, and I see it in comments and I just see it in general. We are at the point now where laying your edges is almost a requirement. I will give you two examples. The first one, and I cannot find it, I really wish that I could. This situation happened on Twitter. This young lady went viral, but not because she was showing a progression of her hair growth journey. She went viral because the only thing that people had to say about her hair growth journey, she was a 4C girly, was the fact that her edges were not laid. This woman has been tending and caring for her hair for an entire year. She came on here to share the story with y'all, and her progression is absolutely beautiful. She did retain a lot of length. And the only thing you have to say to her is that her hair looks nappy and her edges are not tamed and that they are not laid. That's not what she was trying to show y'all. The second thing is an article that I found from Refinery 29, and I will link it down below. And it's how laying edges became a barometer of Black beauty. But I wanted to point out a saying, and it's kind of reflects of what I just said. And it says, it becomes a requirement that slick edges are worn with natural or relaxed hair, and we need to do more questioning as to why that is. And I do agree. And this came from someone in the article. Her name is Danielle. She is 24 and she is a PR coordinator. She said the obsession Black women have with looking perfect and polished can sometimes harm us. And I do agree with that. And like I said, I will link it down below. But she also said that she began to feel pressured to lay her edges when her friends were always questioning her about why her edges were not laid. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. It says that Danielle is 24. When Danielle was 14, 10 years ago, she and the friends that are now mocking her and making comments about her edges were not laying their edges. 14, what is that? 9th grade? I believe you're in high school. You're just starting out high school, freshman year. 10 years ago, y'all were not laying your edges, okay? So I'm just trying to understand the progression of why this is now a requirement. The other thing that I want to talk about and that I have noticed as well, and it mentions this in the article, is whenever you see the marketing or the wording when it comes to the edge control, when it comes to the gels, are words like tame and frizzy. Tame your edges. Y'all know how I feel about frizz. I have naturally curly, kinky, coily hair. My hair is frizzy all the time. I have some frizz right here. And I just took these braids out, I think yesterday. My hair is frizzy. Again, that is the beauty of natural hair. Frizz does not bother me. But whenever I see the marketing, whenever I hear the commercials, and even within the title, tame your edges, tame your frizz. Also, this just popped into my head. Do y'all remember, I think it was Maybelline or CoverGirl, they came out with like this, I think it was 12-hour or 24-hour lipstick wear. While everybody else was so happy about that because they didn't have to reapply the lipstick, my first thought was, what is in this product that's going to allow it to stay on my lips for 12 hours? I've been kissing people, I've been talking, I've been drinking, and I've been eating things. So I'm going to pose the same question with all of these 24-hour and these 12-hour edge control holders, or that is the promise that they are making. Have you ever thought about what is in that product to make sure that your hair, to make sure that your baby hairs are laid for 12 hours, even if you are in the South like myself and sitting outside and you are sweating profusely? Have you ever thought about what's actually in that product to accomplish that? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. What I love about my community is that we can disagree, but we do so respectfully. I just want to remind you here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And of course, right here or right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.
We always have it coming.